but Restream lost connection for whatever reason. But everything's up and working normal, and I guess for whatever reason, the Restream people just don't want. For some reason, the universe doesn't want you guys to hear the news. But I am making it happen. This is, yeah. I'm still calling this one take two because I didn't even make it fully through my first story, and I messed up real bad with starting over anyways. So here we go. My first story today is about Emily Gill. Emily Gill was the New Jersey teenager who was billed almost $2,500 for police overtime when she organized a Black Lives Matter rally. And police say she did not properly notify them. But today the mayor had taken back that fine. Thank you. Good. I'm glad volume's better. So our second story is a very sad one here. A Haitian constitutional expert and lawyer was gunned down only a few hours after he did a radio interview where he called out the Haitian government and demanded constitutional reform. Montfiore Dorvel, who was 64, was killed around 10 p.m., and his body was found only a few feet from his front gate. Haiti National Police said he was killed at close range after he opened the gate and his car was ransacked. Images on Twitter and Facebook show his body was riddled with bullets. It also shows that his watch was still on his arm, ruling out probable robbery. Haitians are angered by the apparent assassination. This is the latest in what has been a crime-riddled country where armed gangs are testing the rule of law in the face of weak national police and a crippling economy, as well as a dysfunctional government. So now, for our third story today, we're going to talk about something I never talk about. We're going to talk about porn stars, guys. It's weird even saying that, but Lauren Wambles, who is 23 and whose porn name is Aubrey Gold, and two men have been accused of killing Raul Gillen, 51. Raul's probably the right way to pronounce that, I'm sorry, whose rotting corpse was found in a shallow grave. Cops say he was shot on or around Independence Day over drugs and money. This isn't the first time Wambles from Alabama has gotten in trouble with police. Since she has been arrested 6 times since 2018, and she is currently awaiting trial on drug possession charges. His remains were discovered when cadaver dogs led officials to a remote road near Graceville, Florida last Tuesday. The 23-year-old was arrested and is being held on charge of principal to murder. William Parker, who is 35, has been charged with open murder. And Jeremy Peters, who is 43, has been charged with murder and corpse abuse. So, yeah, that's a little disturbing. But now, I want to get into a story I've been following along for a little while, and maybe some of you guys haven't, maybe some of you guys have here. Yes, Juan, it was good talking to you as well. A Kitchener, Ontario woman was sentenced Thursday morning to 4 years in prison for kidnapping, torturing, and prostituting a teenage girl. Lindsay Rye, who is 20, pled guilty at the end of January to several charges, including assault, making child pornography, as she took part in a prostitution ring. During submissions, the Crown noted that, I keep saying Rye, it's Rye. Rye was cold and calculated in her attacks. The agreed statement of facts from January stated that Rye kidnapped the 15-year-old girl who Rye accused of stealing money. Rye, 2 men, and another teen tortured the victim, who was also raped. Court had heard that Rye schemed to enslave the victim to get her money back. She advertised the victim's sexual services and drove the teen to meet with men. The straggler is still at large, that's right. Oh, that's great. All right, so flooding caused... All right, so now we're getting into our another story here, and this is flooding in Niger. So flooding in Niger has caused 226,000 people, or more than 226,000 people from their homes, and it has taken 45 lives. Niger's western region has been hardest hit by days of torrential rain that caused Niger's river to overflow, essentially flooding the downtown capital of Niamey. Dozens of mud homes collapsed along the river in Kirksoy district, and rice fields are submerged. Since Monday, rains and flooding have affected at least 25,800 homes, according to the Council of Ministries, in addition to 64 classrooms, 24 mosques have collapsed, and hundreds of granaries have been damaged, the government said. Niger is one of the world's driest as well as poorest countries, and it often experiences intense rainy seasons, which only last 2 or 3 months. So yeah, guys, that's just a very sad kind of case in general. But let's talk about that Ray case for a minute here. She only got 4 years in prison, and I don't know how Canadian law is, but that's a little. I feel like that's really low for everything, for taking part in a child prostitution ring. How do you only get 4 years in prison? That's disturbing. But I want to take this last bit of time here. I want to talk about how today's Save Our Children rally went. I thought it went pretty well. It was, my third time now meeting with Pete Harding at a protest, and he is very well spoken. We do not agree with everything politically. I do not agree with a lot of the people politically at that rally. However, I do believe in the cause of raising awareness for human trafficking. It stinks that it has been turned into a political issue because it really shouldn't have been, and I'm kind of upset that QAnon kind of hijacked the movement and turned it into this political thing, if I'm honest with you guys. But Pete is very well spoken. I really like everything he has to say regarding this issue, and I hope to do, me and him, I look forward to doing more work with him in the future, and I look forward to interacting with a lot of you guys I've been meeting over these past few days, and my YouTube people, I love you guys. You guys are great. You guys have been showing up more and more for me. Facebook guys, a lot of you guys have been here since day one. You guys are great, and I just, I'm so grateful for all of you guys, and there's one more story let's talk about, though, and I know I just kind of went on a rant. This isn't something I planned on talking about, but I want to talk about it. It's not even written down here, but the House in September is going to vote on taking marijuana off the substance abuse list. That's good news. I believe the Senate probably would pass it if it gets through Congress. I know some people do not, but I believe because marijuana is such a socially acceptable thing, I'm sorry, I should call it cannabis because that's the proper term for it. Because cannabis is such a just socially acceptable thing today, I don't see why it won't pass and won't pass through. And then it should basically be up to the states whether or not to legalize it. And you guys know me, I'm all for the legalization, and I know a lot of my followers Facebook friends, YouTube people, I don't know what you guys are called, but YouTube people. You guys that tune in on Breakers TV, I forget about you guys, and I'm sorry. I just seen that. Yeah, I'm sorry I forget about you Breakers TV guys, too, that are watching live as well. I love all of you guys. You guys are great, every single one of you. Let's keep spreading positivity. Let's keep, I'm going to take tomorrow off, as I always do. Monday, I do plan on being live on my Facebook. So if you are watching on YouTube and you are not on my Facebook, feel free to add me on Facebook or follow my Facebook page or the Rips Reports page. I will see you guys all later, and I love all of you guys.